Right now. There we go. So, welcome to another Monday Masterclass webinar. And today we're going to be focused on psychology. Okay, so when we talk about psychology, different aspects to psychology, what it really all boils down to, and maybe a sort of motto or way of thinking or a reminder or affirmation as well to try and help you to be disciplined within your trading. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on today. So, I'm excited about that. And yeah, let's just begin. So when it comes to psychology, you probably hear a lot of people and different mentors. Well, I'll do this as well, mentors and everyone else, who's in this space say to you how psychology is the biggest aspect of trading. And it's good that we have Shabs. Shabs has fantastic insight into different ways of making you think about your mindset and your mindset towards trading. And today I'm just going to talk about similar sort of concepts, but also what I believe is the root cause or root sort of what it all stems from when it comes to psychology, what we should probably be focusing on and working on when it comes to psychology. And as I said, mindset towards and the sort of motto and affirmation for your trading, and hopefully to improve and keep us accountable to ourselves as well. So obviously any questions, please feel free to send them in the chat and I will keep on top of that. The chat's literally right there in front of me so I can see it. There probably won't be any sort of charts today, unless there's something I can incorporate when it comes to the psychology and the charts, which I'll try and do, to be fair, because that might be beneficial. And we could probably use today's trade example, to be honest with you, as an example of that. So when we're talking about psychology, we hear about the same sort of things, right? Someone mentioned something earlier, FOMO, right? FOMO, patience, greed. What else can we think of? Anyone else want to list any more? Greed, FOMO, patience. There's loads more. They're just slipping my mind right now. But the usual concepts of psychology that most people struggle with, all boils down to what? Awareness. Yeah, that could be one. Yeah. Fear of loss. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Overconfidence. Yeah. Yeah. Ego, obviously. Yeah. Fear. Analysis paralysis, as they say. All of these things, what do they boil down to in the end? Okay. The overconfidence one, actually, to be fair, and probably the fear of loss and what was the last one I just said? The analysis paralysis, potentially. They normally come from, obviously, negative trading, fear of loss especially. And overconfidence can come from, obviously, having a winning streak. But the usual ones like the FOMO, like the lack of patience and greed, they're the usual cases for people to have sort of toxic behavior or negative results or inconsistent results. And they boil down to one thing: discipline, right? Discipline is really what separates most traders, the losing ones and the winning ones, honestly, right? Someone asked me a question today of what separates an institutional trader and a retail trader. The institutional trader is on point with technicals, fundamentals, and psychology, right? And when I say that, like, everyone knows I'm not the biggest fundamental trader, like when it comes to knowledge and using fundamentals. However, I do respect and understand that you need to have some level of intellect and some level of knowledge of fundamentals to really trade efficiently, right? To trade at that institutional level. Because when you are approaching investors for capital, or you are explaining your trading, what an investor, yeah, okay, don't get me wrong, results are one thing, probably the most important thing, but you're also going to need to be able to break down the positions you're taking, right? And a fundamental aspect of that is more of an institutional mindset than just, oh, my Fibonacci reached the 61.8 and then I targeted the 21 whatever. An investor, okay, yeah, it may sound cool, the investor might be a little bit interested, but if you're explaining that alongside saying that the Brexit negotiations were breaking down, therefore the pound was weakening, for example, there you go, right? Even though I'm not fundamentally trading the news, I'm still understanding as to why that's impacting price action, right? So I kind of lost how I got to this point, but how I got to this point. But what I'm trying to get at is that person asked me a good question today when it comes to what makes a institutional trader and a retail trader. And an institutional trader is proficient in all three aspects of the market. Their psychology, yeah, their technical ability, and their fundamentals. Whether they are an expert in all three is different. I believe that really a profitable trader should be at least an expert in technicals and psychology. They are necessary, because without psychology, you're not going to have longevity in the markets. Without the technical ability, again, you will not have that longevity in the markets. Okay, so just keep that one in mind. But when it comes to a discipline, the reason why I focus so much on discipline, and again, this is something I put more thought into over the last month or two, because I looked at my own journey, looked at my own results. So as you guys know, you saw me probably last year, in the last quarter of last year, especially around September, October. Was that the last quarter? Yeah, September, October. So like going into end of Q3, going into Q4, I had a fantastic trading results, 60% in 1 month, which is fantastic. However, I realized afterwards that my discipline was not on point. Even though I achieved that much and it was fantastic, it was a great amount of trades and return, my discipline was not on point, because afterwards I was chasing those large amounts again, right? I was chasing those large amounts every month then. Because I had managed to achieve it once, I was chasing it again every month, yeah? Which showed obviously greed, right? There's a lack of patience. I was trying to chase the market, chase what I wanted, trying to capture large trades every single trade. Therefore, I had to take a step back. And as many of you know, I took a little break from trading to really settle my mindset, get my plan refined, and think about these concepts. A lot of these Monday Masterclass webinars and these lessons I've been doing recently that a lot of people have been giving good feedback on is really just because I dive deep into my own self and own trading journey. And I'm just trying to reflect and give those sort of nuggets back on these webinars, so that just so that I'm learning at the same, and whatever I'm learning in the present moment, so are the traders, so are my students, so are you guys. That's what matters. So the reason why I say discipline is because at the end of the day, what is a lack of patience? A lack of patience is a lack of discipline. Greed, right? When it comes to the markets, what is that? A lack of discipline, right? What was the other one? FOMO, fear of missing out. What is that? A lack of discipline, right? It could even be classed as a lack of awareness, as someone mentioned earlier, or understanding of the market. So let me break down where the discipline comes in with my trading, right? And the style of trading I do, and why that makes sense to me and why it works is because it's an ultra disciplined way of trading, right? And remember, if we go back to, what was it last week's webinar? Monday Masterclass? Was it the week before? It might have been the week before, but basically the one about the mindset shift, right? About getting very clear on your trading, right? And knowing exactly how you want to trade, what you want to do each day when you come into the market. Again, being disciplined with that, trusting that system. Okay. And to do so, I had to look into my trading, look into, okay, when am I looking to trade? What am I what am I doing day to day? That is going to hold me back from, say, trading the full day, such as the mentoring and calls that I do, for example. What is going to work for me? So by getting very clear on my routine, okay, getting very clear on exactly how I want to trade, right? What method, what strategy, what pair, what time, everything, as much detail as possible. So then I could have a chance to be disciplined. How am I supposed to be disciplined if I'm not clear on my trading? I don't have a clear plan in place. And a plan does not just mean, obviously, the confluences or, the minimum risk to reward, etc. That is not just a plan. A plan covers every aspect. A plan, if anything, we should call it I wonder what we should call it. Kind of a schedule, if you will. A trading schedule rather than just a trading plan, right? Because it's just like, if we're treating trading like a job, like the trading is our full-time job. So when people say, I want to be full-time trader, really it should be that, I want my job to be a full-time trader, right? Because it is essentially a job. You choose your hours, right? And the amount you get paid is in your hands. But when you treat it in the mindset that it is your job, you're going to turn up on time every day, right? Just as you would at a job. Otherwise, you're going to get fired, right? There's going to be repercussions for your actions. But why don't we treat trading the same way? Why don't we treat and understand that the repercussions of our actions when we go against the plan, against the schedule, against what the job entails, why is it that we don't realize there will be repercussions to our actions in trading? Sometimes we feel the repercussions, but we don't understand why they're happening. But they're normally down to us as individuals. Now, don't get me wrong, some people can have losses, etc., and it may be just due to a lack of technical ability and understanding of the charts. That is true. That normally is in the beginning, however, of their journey, or if they just haven't had the right education in their journey. But for everyone in here, you have the right education. That's why you're here. Maybe some of you are new and maybe you're getting that education, which is fine, but you're in the right place. So that's not too much of an issue we have to focus on. What we need to focus on is getting everyone disciplined, right? So if you remember, I created a trading plan document for every trader on the program. Many of you have obviously, who are newer, have emailed me, sorry, to get that. So if you still need that, riz@astrofxc.com. I'll just put it in the chat for everyone. So if you want the trading plan, just send me an email and I'll reply with the document attached. Why did I create that? And that was back in March of last year, and when the lockdown began. Why did I create that? Because again, I had to look at my own trading, and I had a plan before that, but I didn't have a detailed plan. I didn't have a plan that covered every aspect I just mentioned, like a schedule, rather than just a plan about, I trade this strategy and this confluence and minimum risk to reward is this, like most people. I went detailed. I got very clear on exactly how I want to trade when it comes to the strategy. And then only recently did I work out how powerful it is to work out exactly the hours you want to trade, right? The day-to-day schedule. So for me today, as a great example, with the discipline, I knew that if I was capturing 1 to say 10s, 20s, 30s, and 40s and whatever, and I could capture those, how easy would it be for me to capture a 1 to 5 each day? Very easy, right? Very, very easy for me to capture those moves each day. Okay. Now, I then had to switch my greed off, right? My greed needed to be switched off, and my lack of patience to achieve my results, I needed to be switched off, because rather than me chasing these high amounts that could be achievable and potentially achievable, I needed to make it so I had confidence in what was being achieved each month. Because at the end of the day, as traders who want to be full-time, what you don't want is volatile results. You don't want to be making 60% one month and then 5% the next month and then 10% the next month and then maybe negative the next month. You don't want that, because how are you going to sustain your freedom in a sense? How are you going to have the confidence of knowing this month I will be able to cover my expenses and pay for this particular thing that I want, or that holiday, for example? It's not a way to live. Imagine if you guys had jobs where that was how it worked. 1 month you get paid this much. If the company did well, 1 month you didn't get paid at all, or they took money from you. They asked you for money, right? Doesn't make sense, right? You wouldn't take that job. Same with trading. Why is it our mindset is different towards trading when it's in our hands than it is when we're obviously in a job, right? Yeah, we have to understand that we need to make sure we respect trading that much, that we are not going to be late each day, that we're not going to go break against the rules that are set out towards trading, and making sure that we're disciplined enough to follow that. So it's just like when we're going to the gym to lose weight. So like me, I've been a lack of discipline in my fitness recently, due to obviously the ill health and a lot of situations I'm having to deal with, but that's no excuse. A lack of discipline is leading to bad results in my fitness journey. It's just a direct correlation in anything you do. In anything, even if you have a job and you want to have a good performance in that job, you have to be disciplined. You need to make sure you're turning up on time, making sure you're doing the work each and every day. Even one day off will impact your results. That correlation is real. It will always be real. Just like when you're in school to study. What is the correlation for those who study and their results? Right? The ones who are studying, more than likely, the correlation will be that they will get the results. You could say it's common sense, right? And don't get me wrong, me saying this does not mean that I think anyone who isn't disciplined, is any less than me or anything like that, because I am not disciplined in many things, right? And this is, again, like I'm saying, I learned these lessons, and I'm saying this because I've been there. I've been where you guys are. I've been where some of you have struggled. And I've had to learn. I had to look deep within and find out what the root cause of the problem was. And the root cause of the problem lies not on the charts, right? Because like I said, anyone can learn technical and fundamentals. Anyone can learn technicals and fundamentals. Anyone, absolutely anyone, from someone who's 5 years old to someone who's 80 years old. Anyone can learn that. It differs the amount of time it takes them to learn, of course, but anyone can learn that. Yeah. And I'm sure you guys will all agree that is true, because what is the technical charts? It's just lines and Fibonacci's and indicators or whatever strategy you teach them. Anyone can learn that. The time it takes them to understand it is different, but anyone can learn that. Not everyone can master their mindset. Not everyone can be disciplined. Okay. And that's why the majority of people aren't successful traders. It's as simple as that. So for the 98 people, or 99 roughly, maybe 100 if we get lucky. But for the people in this room and for everyone who watches this recording, think to yourself, how badly do you want to be a successful trader and a profitable trader? Because the answer is very simple, that you just need to get extremely clear on how you want to trade, have your fixed plan with proper risk management and every single aspect that you can possibly think of. And if you struggle with that, go watch the trading plan webinar. Get the trading plan off me and look through it, because I put in as much detail as I possibly could. And I put in daily and weekly routine, for example. It's already in there. It's been in there since March, right? So there's no excuse for, okay, I don't know how to make a plan, because the webinar's there and it's on public forum as well. So it's not even like it's a private video you can't find. It's on the public YouTube, so anyone can watch it, right? So if you struggle with a plan, that webinar was fantastic, because not only did I give my insight, but we got so much more value from everyone in the room giving their sort of 2 cents on what they think should be in a plan. And a lot of those things made sense. So it was a very in-depth webinar. So if you, again, going back to what I just said, if you are wanting to be a full-time trader, for everyone who watches this and everyone who is in here right now, you need to ask yourself, do you really want to be a successful trader? Because if you do, and that is your goal, then you should have no problem being disciplined. You should have no worry making the sacrifice to wake up, say, at 6:30 in the morning to be on the charts for London session, if that's your strategy. You should have no problem sticking to your plan when it comes to the number of trades that you say you're going to place. So me, 1 trade a day. That trade that was on today at virtual trading floor, if that had lost, no more trades. Simple as that. I have to accept within my plan, again, being disciplined, that I am going to take the risk of 0.5% to try and gain 2.5% a day. As long as the trade that fits my plan is available, I will take 1 trade a day to take that. That's it. What does that do? And why am I able to be disciplined with that? Because I understand the strategy. I have made a plan that I know is profitable if I stick to it, which I'm sure many of you actually have. But I'm sure many of you haven't got that profitability because that 1 trade you take that isn't against the plan, isn't with the plan, or the times when the FOMO kicks in, or the greed kicks in, or the times when you start revenge trading, all these little things that are a lack of discipline that just causes to then not trust the plan. And then what we end up doing is throwing that one out, picking a new one. What we end up doing is throwing away that strategy, trying to find a new one, right? And that's a common occurrence within a trader's journey. Now, the thing is, for example, I know I have a 50-50 strike rate, right? So I know that with my strategy, 1 trade a day, I'm taking 5 trades a week on average, taking 20 trades a month. That means if I win 10, I lose 10 on average. So we never know it's direct. It's never 100%, right? It's on average. So on average, I'm winning 10 trades, I'm losing 10 trades. So if I'm winning 10 trades at 2.5%, that's 25%. If I'm losing 10 trades at 0.5%, that is 5%. So overall, I should be making 20% a month, right? And for some, that maybe that's too little, right? And at one point, I'd think the same thing. I'd probably think, again, with my greed and the mentality, I'd think I want more because I know I can achieve more. I've taken trades that have given me more, just 1 trade. But again, realistic, right? What's realistic? What do I actually need? What does an investor want? 20% a month for an investor, they would probably think that, I'm mental. They'll probably think I'm a scammer. I'm trying to take their money from them, right? Because an investor is happy with, on average, and a proper investor, when I'm talking investor, I'm talking people with millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. They're happy with 10% a year, let alone a month. Yeah. So why am I trying to be greedy, trying to get 60, 80, whatever percent a month? Why am I trying to do that? Don't get me wrong, though. If there's anyone who is in here who is achieving those sort of trades, fair play to you, you know. As long as you can do it consistently and you're disciplined, do that. I just know myself. I'm just talking from my experience, you know, trying to be realistic, trying to be, humble as well, and just trying to keep myself grounded and disciplined. So, 20% a month is 240% a year. If I'm trading £1 million, it's over that's 3 million. And that's where you need to be thinking, because at the end of the day, for you guys to be full time, you're going to be trading larger capital. It's not like you're going to be full time trading £5,000 or euros or dollars, right? That's not your goal. That's not your aim, and you already know that. So why are you letting the present circumstance of what you're trading, whether you're trading, 25K, 50K, 100K, or whether you got personal accounts of $1,000, $100, $5,000? Why are you letting the now come into why are you letting the now impact your discipline, impact the results that you're trying to get? Because at the end of the day, someone opened my eyes a bit as well. That 60% on 100K, so 60 grand, is only 6% on $1 million account. So all my stressing for that month, and not even stressing, but like all that hard work and all that being on the charts and trying to get all these different trades and get that 60%, could have just literally been half a trade or one trade on $1 million account, right? Realize that where you guys all want to be, you guys and girls and everyone who's in here and everyone who's watching, all of you want to be institutional traders, in the sense that you want to be trading institutional capital, larger sums, high 6, 7, 8 figures, potentially even 9 figures. There's no end to the possibilities that you can do. Be aware of that. Be aware that all you would need to do to find an investor to invest in you as a trader is have I'd say a 12-month track record. A 12-month track record with good discipline, good risk management, with a nice return, even if it's, say, 40% a year. You could negotiate with an investor to say, okay, you're going to get 15% in that year. I'm going to get the rest, or whatever. However you structure that, don't get me wrong, obviously that will differ on the situation. But understand that that's a reality that you can have when you put in the work and be disciplined and do the hard work to build that track record in the first place. Right? Because at the moment, someone probably has a good month, maybe 2, and then the third month they take it all back. And normally, because they've felt so good for those 2 months, that third month takes it all back. They get analysis paralysis. They get too fearful, or their greed or their ego is there, and then they end up going into drawdown. Then they stay there for 4 or 5 months. There are questions in the chat, but I'll get onto them. Don't worry, I'm not going to ignore them. I'm just in a flow right now. But so understanding that. For example, again, being disciplined with the plan that I mentioned for myself, knowing that on average I should be getting about 20% a month. There could be a month where I make, say, 10%. Could be a month where I make 30, 40%. But on average, based on my statistics, based on my strategy, based on everything I put in place, on average, I should be making 20% a month, as long as I stick to the plan, as long as I stay disciplined. So today, we got that 2.5%. For some reason, it ended up being 2.4. I don't know if it's because of Stinu or whatever, but that's fine. That's an error or some form of slippage that you have to take into account sometimes. But today I was done. As you guys saw, once that trade was done, I was calm. You saw me stressing a little bit there because it was playing with my emotions. It was really annoying me. But even then, though, when price, as you guys remembered, when I opened the call, price had moved away from my entry, came back towards my entry. Don't get me wrong, as you're always going to feel some kind of way. You're always going to feel a bit on edge, like, oh no, I might get stopped out. However, I knew that if I did get stopped out, that's fine, because then I was done for the day. That trade was done. Today's trading time and trading for today, the job for today is finished. Tomorrow, my new job is back on again, and I need to find another trade tomorrow, for example. So, for example, like you guys in here, if to really so I've talked about myself, but to say for all of you, obviously everyone's strategy will be different. So, working out what pairs you're trading will help you to work out when your optimum trade time will be. And then understanding that really, in reality, there's only 2 optimum trades a day at maximum, probably 1 on most days, but 2 at maximum, depending on your strategy, of course, on any given pair, right? That's going to fit your plan, right? So, for example, I'm trading GU. I know today, especially as a day trader, there will be maximum 2 trades a day, right? 2 trades maximum opportunities to get into a day maximum, probably 1 on most cases. As a scalper, don't get me wrong, the possibility of having more, but again, it's about, does it fit your plan? And then it comes into obviously over trading and all that. So again, as a scalper, what do you decide to do? Again, I would still argue that there's 1 or 2 good clean trades, maybe 3 or 4 max. But again, I see people taking 6 trades in a day, 7 trades in a day on different pairs. Again, you can only, as an individual, they say, our minds, for the amount that we handle, we can only make, I think it's 3 conscious, wise decisions a day. I think it's 3. It might be 2. I think it's 3, maybe 4. But it's a very low number. And that doesn't just relate to trading though, right? That just means in general, per day, we can only make 2 to 4. And I'm saying to 4 because I can't remember. I think it's 3 though, in the middle. But we can only make under 5, basically, conscious, wise, impactful decisions a day. That's all we can handle. That's all we will be able to do. Don't get me wrong, people will differ, obviously. Some will probably do less, some will probably do more. But it's around that sort of figure. So how are we able to then take, say, 6 trades in a day? How are we then able, and bear in mind, again, that's not just for trading, that's in general. So if I'm making a trade today, my other decisions might be something to do with something else. It might be a routine thing. It might be a particular thing that I'm going to go do, or a business thing, or whatever it may be. But per day, a very small number of impactful choices and wise, clear choices a day. So straight away, I know I'm wrong and undisciplined, and it's not right if I'm taking, say, 4, 5, or even 3 trades in a day. It just doesn't make sense, right? And if you understand that and you accept that, that's going to again help you to be disciplined. So we spoke about discipline, right? And we haven't really touched on how can you work on your discipline. So let's talk about that now. I think the biggest thing to work on your discipline and to help you with discipline is actually having a clear understanding of what you want to do. So getting that clarity, getting that confidence in that in your system that you're looking to follow. So like when you go to the gym, you have more confidence following a gym plan, whether you've made it yourself or someone's giving it to you, because you know that if I follow this, I'm going to get results. It's just like when you get a job and you get trained. As long as I follow the training given to me, I'm going to get results. That's why they're giving it to me. Just like with the strategy you learned from Astro, for example, or the strategy that you use. You're using it because you know if you follow it, you'll get results. However, you're not clear enough because of trading. This is the difference between the job and, say, the gym and these other examples I've given, is that trading is very independent. No one's going to really be able to give it to you. Now, don't get me wrong, with my traders that I mentor, I try and speak about, obviously, think about your routine. I try and think about, how you want to be trading. I try and speak about these things, these concepts. More recently, I'm not going to say that I've been doing it for months. More recently, because again, these are lessons that I've had to learn myself. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how consistent or profitable you are as a trader, you always need to make sure you're on the ball. You can never drop the ball. You can never sway off your plan. You can never, and that's what makes it so hard as well, though. You can never have a cheat day in the market. It just doesn't exist. Someone's mentioned, I know a question I read earlier, I think it was Harry, being about flexible and disciplined at the same time. It's impossible in the market. In other things, potentially, like with the gym, I could have a cheat week if I'm not right now, I couldn't, it wouldn't make sense. But if I was, say, in the gym, properly 6 months, I'm in shape, and then I had a week off, yes, it won't be like improve my overall progress, but it's not going to hinder my progress as long as I get back to being disciplined. But that's in the gym. Trading in the gym, it's just me and my weight and the weights, right? There's no money involved. Trading is different. There's monetary value involved, which has longer term impacts, right? So there is no trading. There's no cheat meal, There's no cheat day in trading. Your cheat days and rest days are your weekends, as long as you don't trade crypto. If you trade crypto, you ain't got no rest days at all, and you've only done that to yourself, so you only have yourself to blame. But hopefully you're doing all right there. But discipline wise, really, it boils down to clarity. When you're super clear on what you are doing, and when I say clear, I don't just mean on your routine and your pairs, but also what your strike rate is. So me knowing my 50-50 strike rate, it gives me confidence and helps me to be disciplined in following my 1 trade a day. Because I know 50% of my trades on average will win and 50% on average will lose. right? And because I know that and I'm confident in that, it helps me to then take my trades accordingly. Like today, winning that trade and then not chasing the market. Because interestingly enough, there's that trade that I won today. After that, when it came back up, it entered in for my strategy a short opportunity, which then actually played out bigger than a 1 to 5, for example. I could have taken that. And then again, it gave another short opportunity just before coming on the webinar. That probably was another 1 to 5, 6, 7, 8. Could have taken that. And earlier on in the day, it gave an opportunity again. Same thing. That was probably a 1 to 10 or 20. Could have taken that. I have to be disciplined because I know if I'm going to take all those trades, one, it's against my plan. So, it's not going to end well. Two, I'm probably chasing the market and the greed element is there. And three, when I take losses, because obviously not every trade is going to play out just exact, because obviously in hindsight I can see them all, but in reality, am I going to be able to take them all correctly or get the right ones? No. So in reality, if I tried to take all 4 of those, more than likely I wouldn't have even got the winning one I got, because I probably would have lost the first one, which then would have meant I would have chased the market next or had some kind of feeling about the next one, which then I probably would have lost and messed that one up, and so on. But because I'm clear on exactly what I'm looking for and exactly what I'm doing each day, it doesn't leave room for me to overtrade. It doesn't leave room for me to feel like I'm missing out. It doesn't leave room for me to have a lack of patience or to feel greedy, because I know what I'm trying to achieve each day. I know the task at hand that I've set myself, or if you will, my boss has set myself, right? My future self has set myself a task, if that makes sense, right? Remember how I said to you guys, I don't know if it was on the mindset shift or one of the webinars, where I said, think about when you think about your future self, the setup that you have and the way you trade and how disciplined and neat you are and tidy you are and how you go about and carry yourself. And that person you see needs you to do it now, needs you to be disciplined, needs you to put in the work necessary so that can actually become a reality. Otherwise, that just stays a vision, that just stays a dream, right? If you don't act on it, with what you see and you don't act on it, and you don't just consciously decide to actually make a change and see a change within your trading and your results, how is she going to do it? How else is that going to be a reality? Let's be honest. It's not. It's impossible. If you do not put action into making that dream a reality and that vision that you see into reality, it's never going to work. It's never going to happen. And that's the truth. Like if someone came to me and said, I spoke to someone today actually on the phone, and you guys will probably laugh, but then it's probably happening to you guys too. So the guy I'm speaking to him, he's messaging me on Instagram. He wants to, obviously, he's talking about mentorship and education. And he said to me, I have a strategy. I'm not getting results, but, and then I asked him, like, so do you feel like, you need to change your strategy? And then he said to me, no, I'm happy with my strategy. I just need mentorship and guidance. I said, are you getting results from your strategy? He goes, no. So I said, so you need to change your strategy. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're probably right. You understand? Like, if you're not getting results, something needs to change. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the strategy, but it could either be psychology or the strategy, maybe a bit of both, right? And that's the truth. Like, if you're not getting where you are right now, something has to change, because everything you're doing right now isn't giving you what you want. And that should be motivation enough for you to change. That should be motivation enough for you to decide, okay, I'm going to be disciplined and strict with myself, because the only person you impact is you. The only person it's affecting and causing harm to really is you. It's not causing, let's say, like, if any of you guys don't listen to me today, it's not going to impact me. I'm not going to care, in the sense that it's not going to impact, it's not going to change my life. I'll be disappointed just in the fact that, you had an opportunity to change and you didn't take it. That's all. But other than that, it's not going to change my life. The only person it's going to hurt is yourself. It's kind of like self-harming in a way, because at the end of the day, look how many people have mental issues because of trading. How many people go through depression? How many people have negative days and feel upset? And as men, for example, we always like to shy away from crying and feeling upset and all that. Well, that's what they make out on socials or whatever. But I can say, and I'm sure there's probably people in here as well, I've cried because of trading. It's made me feel that bad because of how bad I was performing and how bad I was doing. I've cried because of it. And yet still the tears didn't make me change, unfortunately to say. Actually saying that, I think it did make me change. That was sort of a pivotal moment though. But what I'm getting at is that literally is self-harm though. If you continue to make toxic decisions and you know it is, and I have this book here that someone on the trading floor may have mentioned, I've mentioned before. So this is my original journal. And this was back when I used to start like blowing accounts. So I did really well in the beginning of the journal. You'll read that, oh, I was trading and I'm doing well. I've like, look right here, I banked £500 profit and I'm floating 2,500 profit. Now manage correctly and let profits run. And then so that was in like August of that year, for example. And then here you go. Here's the one. Is this the one? 1 second. 1 second. Yeah. Nope, it is this one. So that was in August, right? So later, 3 weeks later, I blew the account. I blew the account because of no stop loss, right? And just over leveraging and stacking. And then from then on, I just was in toxic state and constantly I'm doing okay. And then I'm saying like keep on the plan. And I didn't have a fixed plan or anything like that at the time. But then then the next day I would blow the account and then I would put in there like you need to do this, as in you need to be disciplined, you need to not stack and you need to follow your plan, right? And I'll write out a whole plan finally. And then the next day I'll blow the account that I made, which was probably £200, £300 or something, the next very day. And I'd write in the pages, I look at the other page behind this, you fucking idiot. And why didn't you listen to yourself? Yeah. So you can imagine, even though I knew that I was doing something wrong, I kept just doing it anyway because I was letting the toxicity, right? And the greed and the fear of loss and the losses that I've made impact my decisions. So all that was resulting was in more loss. Makes no sense, right? So I've been there. And it is literally like you just deciding I don't want to win in the market if you don't decide to be disciplined. So as I mentioned, to be disciplined, you need to get clear on exactly what you're performing at, what level you're performing at. How is that going to work for you, right? And then the motto, I wrote it down on this piece of paper because my friend gave me a story. Okay, there was a story. You guys know my friend Thomas, right? So he gave me and him were on an accountability call the other day, and he gave me a story about a British rowing team in the Olympics. Some of you may have heard this, but he goes, what did he say? He goes that the team lost. They came like 7th, and between obviously that Olympics and the next one, every decision that they made, whether that was to go to the pub, whether that was to train at 6 a.m., came with a question. And that question was, will this make the boat go faster? Right? Every decision. Should we go to the pub tonight? Hey, mate, will that make the boat go faster? No, we're not going then. Right? Hey, mate, should we get up at 7 a.m. and do some training? Will that make the boat go faster? Yeah, let's go do it then. Same for trading. Does this make my trading results better? Does this make me more profitable? Ask yourself with every trade you take and every decision to do with your trading, and just generally, if that's what you want to do full time, ask yourself, does this make me a better trader? Right? And be honest with yourself. Maybe you need accountability and ask your accountability partner whether, and the thing is, it doesn't have to be an accountability partner who is a trader, by the way. It could just be someone who understands your goals and visions and how important it is to you and to hold you accountable to it, even if they're not doing any goals or visions. It could just be your mum. I've used my mum to hold me accountable before. I've used my friends. I've used my wife. Even in a few years' time, I'll probably use my baby. Yeah, but listen, baby, this is my goal. Yeah, this is my goal. So if I don't hit it, if I'm doing something bad, you tell me, right? And she will tell me, right? But this is what I'm getting at. Like, so you don't need to have, say, a particular trader who has to do that for you, right? It can be, if you can do it yourself, fantastic. If you know you need that pushing, that help, then recognize that. It's okay. It's like me. Like, I know I need others to push me more and to hold me accountable. I know I need that. That's why I make sure I use it and do it. If I, let's say, for example, let's say today, if I lost that trade and then I placed another one and I lost that one and I finally felt the pain, I would have called up one of my accountability partners and said, listen, man, I just fucked up. I just did this. And they would rip me first, say, why would you do that when you know that that's not against your goals? And then tell me, what I need to hear in order to overcome the block that I've just made. and to get balanced again so that I'm ready for the next day. It's very powerful, very powerful. So yeah, so ask yourself that question though. Does this make your trading better? Does this make me any more profitable? If the answer is no, or you're not clear, this is the thing. If you're not clear on the answer is probably no. Because when you know, if it's a yes, you will know straight away, right? So me reading The Disciplined Trader, for example, will that make me a better trader? More than likely, yes. Okay. Me following these signals, will this make me a better trader? No. Me following all these traders online, is that going to make me a better trader? No. I don't know, jumping into the market right now just because I've seen the market moving and I don't want to miss out on the move, is that going to make me a better trader? No. Yeah. You get my point, right? Okay, so I'm going to go through some of the questions now. So I apologize for talking for about 50 minutes, but we'll do a summary at the end as well. Yeah. Cool. Questions wise, let's see how far back I need to go. So, okay, first question was, what are a few important daily activities we could do to improve our psychology on a consistent basis? Okay, good question. Daily basis, psychology. Well, having a routine, definitely. Having an actual daily routine that you follow. So for me, I'll tell you my daily routine. So I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. At 6 a.m. till 6:30, I read 30 minutes. I will implement some meditation in that early routine, but I've just set this new routine for the new year. But anyway, 6 a.m. to 6:30, I read. 6:30 till 10/11 a.m., I'm doing my London session trading. After that, I'm obviously doing my calls and the virtual trading floor and webinars until I get back home. When I get home, I then do my bike, my exercise bike. I then do my journal straight after my bike, journaling for the day. Whether that's, and everyone knows my journal is obviously, you know, like I said, that book I just showed you, that's how I journal. I journal like literally like a diary. So that's my routine. That's my routine every day, Monday to Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, it differs ever so slightly, just that I do my bike earlier. And I set aside quality time for the family on a Saturday. And then on Sunday, I set aside 2-3 hours to prep for the week ahead. That is my routine. And again, this will help with your psychology. Why? Because you know each task that you need to complete each day. And more importantly, it's going to help with your discipline to follow that routine, to make sure you're completing those tasks. Hold yourself accountable. Add it to in my phone. Look, oh shit, cable came out. Look, I'll show you if I can. I need to add some more, by the way. I've only added the trading floor session so far, but let me go back. Not trading floor session, sorry. The my London session trading. Where did I add it? Oh, it should be in there. I put it in from here. Oh, so I put it in from here. Look, so I got some calls booked then, so you don't need to see those. So no calls there. So look, I don't know if you can see it, but here, London trading. Before that, I need to put the bike, the reading. Sorry, we have the when I used to do obviously my stories in the morning. I even got that on there, morning content. My morning meeting with obviously the Astro team. My afternoon content when I used to do that. My the virtual trading floors in here. Yeah, the Monday masterclasses and everything's in here, right? Hold yourself accountable that way. Little reminder that pops up on your phone or your Apple Watch telling you that you need to do your routine. Yeah. So that's the sort of thing I would do when it comes to helping your psychology on a daily basis and to be consistent with it. Any other psychology things, daily basis? Meditation could help, you know, because as a trader, again, as I was talking about the thoughts, the amount of thoughts that we have and the amount of things that go on in our daily lives, meditation can help to relax that. And as I've spoken on before, meditation doesn't have to be the usual that you hear about sitting down and being silent and just breathing. It could just be going for a run. Meditation, in my eyes, and again, it's my perception, is just when you're focused on one in particular task. Whether that's running, whether that's the breathing exercises, whether that's say like I don't know, wherever, when you can focus your mind on one individual thing and try and silence the noise. It's a powerful thing. Okay. Someone said meditate actually after that, which is good. What we got? Is it possible to be disciplined and flexible at the same time? So as I said, no. It's a very good question though, but no, it's not possible at all. It's not possible at all. There's a difference between adapting and being flexible. Flexible implies that you can sway off your plan just ever so slightly if you need to. No, that is wrong, and that is always going to result in a negative balance at the end. Being adaptable, as I gave the example today from GU, right? So again, we'll quickly do this if possible. Quickly do this because I know I've got a call at 5 o'clock. We'll quickly do this, look. So this is GU that we were talking about earlier. So my original trade idea and plan, which again fit my plan and had my minimum risk to reward, etc. Basically everything that we just went over fit the plan. So I wanted a retest of this, fill this void here, and it didn't come. Look how shy away it came. Like, so my entry was around there. 2 pips. It came 2 pips away from my entry, and I saw it. Ooh, my bad. I saw it fly away, right? Leave that void behind, break that structure. So it probably wasn't coming back to my entry. So again, I'm not flexible in the sense that I'm going to take that trade now. I have to look. So adaptable. So what did I do? Here's that void. Here's a potential entry. The minimum risk to reward, the time, everything fit the plan still. Adaptable. Okay? Adaptable. Not flexible. Not veering off the plan. Okay? Big difference. And that one played out. Fantastic. Okay? So I hope that helps. Can you repeat the month part again? Month. Sorry, I don't remember which part that was now. So how come those huge banks / institutions don't make the same returns as some in the retail sector? Because they don't have to. And that's the thing. The ones that you see in the retail sector maybe doing these so-called returns probably aren't legitimate. And remember that they can show you the returns when they've made it, but how long do they keep it is the real question. That's the real question, right? So it's like when I had that 60% month, right, and I started chasing those sort of bigger returns, did I keep? I got to withdraw the 60%, fantastic. But after that, did I do that again, and did I get to make that consistent? No. That's why I had to then take a step back to recalibrate and come up with something that was going to give me a nice, consistent, high return when it comes to an institutional standpoint. So higher than say 10, 20% a year, higher than that, much higher than that, but also keeping it grounded, clear, disciplined approach, right? So yeah. So to answer that question, let's be honest, like, how do we know if these people in the retail sector that you're speaking about actually are making these huge returns and keeping them, right? How do you deal with not having taken a chance? Like for GJ example shorts today internally, how do you handle it? I always know there's another trade. As I mentioned, there's at least 1-2 trades potentials a day minimum. One minimum a day, depending on your strategy. If you're a swing trader, there probably won't be every day, not at all. You'll have to wait. And even if you miss that trade, the market's always moving. The market is open 5 days a week, pretty much every week for a whole year. So just because you miss one trade today, next week there's going to be a trade, or if you're a swing trader, 2 weeks time, there'll be another trade. And even if you miss that one, it's okay. There's another trade a week or two after that. As a day trader, there's a trade pretty much available for you every day. As a scalper, there's plenty of trades every day for you. But again, it's not about that. It's about the discipline of making sure you don't chase after it, right? That's what separates you, really. It's the discipline of knowing, will you chase after it or not? I think this is one of the most important webinars. Appreciate that. Hope it is. If you want a cheat day, your account gets a cheat day too. It's a good point. That's a good one. It's true. Yeah, the account will cheat on you. Riz dropping bombs today. Try my best. On fire. He woke up and chose Riz. I did indeed. Energy levels, same Riz, relatable. I'm guessing you're talking about obviously the situation I was talking about when it comes to obviously the negative feeling that you can have when you really get toxic in trading. I believe 40K, 1.5 before Astra. I went for pretty much exactly 1.5 years before Astra. Yeah, 100%. This is what I mean. This is why I share this, because I know for a fact that most people go through a similar journey. Most people struggle with the same shit, right? But it's just like most people don't talk about it. So we don't really, it's kind of like we don't want to talk about losses. We don't want to talk about, how much I've lost before, or how I felt or cried, or the depression. I don't want to talk about any of that. I want to talk about how good I am, how consistent I am. I want to talk about the 20, 30, 40%, the account I flipped. That's all I want to talk about, right? It's not feasible. It doesn't make sense. You guys won't learn if I'm just sitting here every day saying, hey, I made 5% today, 10% today, I made 20% today. How are you guys doing? You're not going to learn anything. And that's why it's very important that we share our experiences, because otherwise, what's the point of being a mentor or having a mentor if they're not going to willing to share with you their losses and their journey, what they do day to day, That's why I share my routine, etc., and share my sort of thoughts on the market, etc. Anyone looking for accountability partner? So yeah, if you're looking for an accountability partner, obviously, and you can't find one, again, go in the group. Use the group, and if someone reaches out to you, fantastic, do it. And like I said, you don't always need to. If you think you don't have one, just because you're trying to look for a trader, don't cap yourself to just having a trader as your accountability partner. It doesn't need to be that way. Find a friend who has a particular type of goal. Again, it doesn't mean that sometimes you could just have someone who's only holding you accountable and you're not having to hold them, which could even be better, because then you don't have to do any work. They're doing it for you, right? What we got here is what are the specific pairs I trade. I trade GU. Well, I don't trade. I trade GU today, which is the first time in a while. But I trade GJ, GU, or Euro GBP, and I pick one pair and I trade it. That's it. Whatever the clearest pair it is that I trade. Normally, I'll trade that pair consecutively for a while until it becomes unclear, and I'll look at the other ones, and normally one of them will be clear for me. But to be fair to you, all three of them have a correlation to them. So normally, I'll find some sort of potential move on one of them. But that's just me. That's how I trade. At one point, I only traded GJ or GP, just one pair. But now I keep it so that I can try, as I go for one trade a day, if two of them aren't, out of the three, one of them is going to probably have an opportunity for me. So that's why I do that. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Exactly. Very, very good. Good at saying. Yeah, definitely. Write down your goals. Yeah, write it down. So what we needed to hear is, talking from experience, what would you say is a good thing to do to help mental state if you've gone through a day or two of losses, or even just a frustrating period? I would definitely recommend to just step back. Just step back. Simply just step back and get clear on what you want to do, because obviously something isn't working right now and it's impacting your psychology. And don't let it sit on your mind or fester or continue to trade with those thoughts in your mind, because you're not going to be able to trade clearly. Because I say that anything that can impact your mindset, if you're not feeling happy even, don't trade, because a loss is guaranteed in the market, except for if anything, a loss is guaranteed in the market. So imagine if you're not feeling happy already, just for whatever reason, and you go into the market to trade and you take a loss. How bad is that going to impact you? How strong will your will and discipline be then, when you're already feeling bad? You just take a loss. What's going to happen? Take a step back. Like I did. I had to take a step back. When was it? A couple of months back? No, these last 2 months. November, mid-November to the start of Jan. I had to do the same thing. I believe that even if you're trading, say 10 million, if you're going to have a bad period, you have to be smart enough to take a step back for a week or two at least, if you need to. Just because you're trading 10 million doesn't mean you need to keep trading. If you're feeling bad, all that's going to do is hurt your capital, right? So, my advice would be to step back and get very clear on your trading. Work out what was going wrong. Was it just a losing streak? Because they're natural in the market. There are winning streaks and losing streaks in the market, where even when you're following your plan, it just so happens that you're just losing out. But then you have to trust your plan. As long as you've done the due diligence of the stats, like I said, like knowing your strike rate and knowing the clear system you're following, you have to trust the system. So like with my system, for example, I know that, yes, on average, I should win 50% of my trades, but it could be a case where, I'll give you a good example, actually. I'll give you an actual example. So we know, when we flip a coin, it's a 50-50 chance, right? So on average, over, say, 1,000 spins, it should be 500 heads, 500 tails on average, right? It's the law of averages. However, that does not mean it has to be, I flip it once, heads, I flip it again, tails, right? The first 20 times I flip it could be heads. The next 5 could be tails and another 20 heads. But overall, it should be 50-50, right? And that's where, again, you have to accept losses sometimes, because they're part of the system. You're following your plan still. They're part of the system. If you have good risk management and you're sticking to your plan, you're sticking to your risk per day. So for example, if I was taking losses for the next 5 days, equating to 2.5% loss, that actually means I'm break even, but then I take another 5 trades, but every single one fits my plan completely. And now I'm 2.5% in negative. I have to still continue with my plan, because all it means is that the winning trade that I hit is going to make me break even, that first one. The next one I hit will take me back into profit, right? And then normally it goes in those swings and roundabouts, those losing streaks followed by winning streaks. So if I lose 5 trades in a row and then I win 5 trades in a row, my risk management takes care of it. I lost 2.5%, but I just went and gained 12.5%. So I'm overall 10% in profit. This again, I can say these things because I'm clear on exactly what I want to do and I'm disciplined with it. Yeah. Whew. Kyle, if you're looking for one, you can message me on Instagram, Caden Frost. There you go. It was the percentage part of risk management. Oh, so I think it was just explaining that obviously for me, I risk 0.5% to try and gain 2.5% a day, Monday to Friday, meaning that there's obviously 20 trades in on average a month, meaning that obviously if I win all my trades, I make 50%. If I lose them all, I only lose 10%, right? So it's a good risk to reward. It's 1 to 5, right? So yeah. Anyways, I asked the question in the Hit Squad chat about voids and how to trade them. Do you mind going through them quickly? I did that on the virtual trading floor. So you might have missed that one, but what I'll do is I'll put the recording in later this evening. So if you just catch up on there, I went through obviously the voids. I explained it, I think 2-3 times on there. So you'll be able to see that. Can you explain about the toxicity trading? So toxic trading is really, why is that? Why is toxic trading? Toxic trading is just when you're not following your plan, when you're allowing your emotions and your mind to control your decisions rather than you controlling yourself, what your decisions are going to be. Right? It's a very powerful thing. Taking action on psychology is the hardest part. And it's when you're making decisions on your own, like you need to have your own inside voice. This is what is impacting my psychology at the moment. And is that I forget to talk to myself and I don't realize that I'm not thinking logically. Yeah, true. But that's what I was saying. So that's why it's very important to get clear on exactly what you want to do and have that discipline to follow through with the plan that you set out. How about the back end of streaks for winning streaks? Taking a step back to evaluate process and mindset. Are there any big differences between either end? Not really, because again, like after you have a winning streak, yeah, you don't know when the winning streak's coming to an end. You won't know. Even if you take, say, one loss and then you could be on the winning streak could continue still after that. So that's why you have to just be conscious of and be clear of your plan and the discipline that you're following through with, because you can't time the market. You can only go with what the market is telling you. And you have to trust the system. Don't get me wrong, doing reviews of your performance mentally and on the charts and monetary as well is good. It's good to review how you perform so you can improve and see where you're slacking and see where you're doing well. It's good to do that, whether that's weekly, monthly, whenever. You set that sort of task for yourself. Yeah. Best books? I'm not sure. Books wise, The Disciplined Trade is a good book for mindset and try and think of it in the terms of possibilities and also, or trading the zones more the probabilities. But The Disciplined Trader is more about having the mindset of a trader, preparing your mindset as a trader, being able to be okay with making money, losing money, etc. in such a strange way if you think about it compared to the society norm of having a job, etc. We can also go look on YouTube for your trading plan videos. Yeah, so go on YouTube. It's on my YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe, obviously subscribe. This year I'm gonna be putting more effort into my YouTube properly, because as you can imagine, it's grown quite nicely with just me putting these recordings on, which aren't very fancy, are they? So yeah, I'm gonna put some actual effort in this year. When I'm in Dubai, I'll probably film some things as well. Emotionless and robotic vibes now. Emotions are not helpful. Yeah, it's true. It's true. You have to manage your emotions, not let your emotions manage you, which is a very difficult task to do. But yeah. But daily vlogs. Nah, I ain't got time for daily vlogs. That's too hard. I got a baby. It's impossible. You obviously don't have kids. There we go. But yeah, just to summarize then, because we're at the end of the webinar now. So to summarize, ask yourself every day, every decision you make, especially towards your trading, and even maybe think certain things outside your trading potentially. Will this make you a better trader? Right? Does this make you a better trader? Right? Will this make you more profitable as a trader, more consistent? Ask yourself these things. Have it maybe written down next to your desk where you trade. Have it printed out. Have it on your screen your screensaver on your laptop or your phone. So you're reminded of the question. So you don't forget, and you ask yourself and you be honest with yourself. And whenever you're not clear with an answer, it means no. So if you're like, oh, I'm not sure, it's a no, definitely. Because if you know it's going to, if you're confident in it and you know, yes, this will make me a better trader, then you're right. If you are unsure, it's a no. If it's a no, it's a no, right? So make sure to do that. And then more importantly, work on your discipline overall, not just in trading, but overall in your life, because you need to instill discipline into your daily routine, whether that's through exercise, reading, a particular diet, whether it's waking up at a particular time. Discipline breeds more discipline. You know how they say law of attraction, right? They talk about the law of attraction and energy. Well, it's all real. It's all legitimate, but it's all about. Some people assume that you just have to think good. You know, if I think about my profits and how I want to be, it will happen. No, energy begets more energy, and begets just basically means like leads on to more, right? So they say about war, for example, war begets more war. So like violence begets more violence, it leads on to more violence. Peace begets more peace, right? So with trading, discipline in your daily routine is going to flood into and seep into your trading as well, right? So if you're undisciplined outside of your trading, it's going to be very difficult for you to be disciplined in your trading, because you've not got any form of discipline anywhere else. So how are you going to be disciplined in probably one of the hardest things to be disciplined in, right? Following a diet and a gym routine is difficult as well, but much more easier compared to trading. So if you're not, say, in shape or following some form of healthy lifestyle or discipline with that side of things, again, it's going to be very difficult for you on the trading side of things, right? So get disciplined, get very clear on your routine in trading, exactly what you want to achieve in trading. Get very clear on your results that you're getting, your strike rate, your pairs, etc., so that you can devise a system, a schedule, a daily routine that works for you and gives you results that you can be confident in, which is going to help you to be disciplined. Okay. Now, and to summarize as well, if you need help with doing those sort of things, watch the trading plan webinar, okay, to help you devise a plan. Watch the mindset shift webinar to help you when I talked about the routine side of things. And then obviously watch this webinar as well. All right. That's right. We're passing on the knowledge to the younger generation, Gersh, aren't we? Yeah, that's it. The trading plan webinar will be in the group, but it'll probably be easier for you just to go onto my YouTube channel. The link's in my bio on Instagram, Riz__Iqbal, because the first underscore profile got taken down. It's so sad. But yeah, feel free to share this webinar, guys. I'll probably put this webinar on YouTube publicly. Not today, probably later this week. Yeah, probably later this week before I go to Dubai. That'll probably be a good time. But yeah, Trading Beyond the Matrix is a great book if you want to transform your life, basically, in terms of trading and just life in general, step-to-step guide. It's also a book Sean recommends. Cool. Yeah, you can check it out. I've never read it, but you can check it out. But yeah, no worries, guys. No worries. I appreciate everyone's time. I will catch you all in tomorrow's virtual trading floor. And yeah, just take on board what we've gone over, and I'm sure we'll see some good results. So yeah, take care.
Thanks a lot, Riz. Thank you.
No worries. Appreciate it. Gersh, good luck with you, mate. See you later. No worries. See you later, guys. Bye.